So just a review. What we did earlier on was to create what's it called? Was to create a, sorry. Don't forget, please, everybody, for web security, go through this website. It has quite a lot of information with respect to web security, cleaning your website, fixing hacked website. Maybe later on in the future, pen testing, we touch a little bit of it. Then Talos Intelligence, very, very nice for intelligence reports, vulnerability reports, advisories, for you to learn about incident response. Then we have Virus Total. This one just provides you idea about files, URLs, and such. Then for WHOIS, normally use WHOIS to like gather, I know who owns an IP address or where the website is located or all of those kind of things. So I'll close all of those. So this is what we're trying to build earlier on. So if you click on this, right, you get to the home page of the site. Then we now did a login. From a login, we want to now head to a what's it called? Admin access, right? So now you see that we can access this admin access even without any password, without anything. So, but this will not be possible. I think we didn't tell where the users will go to after they are logged in, right? So we need to tell ChatGPT to rewrite this code to send successful logins to a particular page, right? So, but let's examine what has been created already. Remember, we told ChatGPT that this is our login page. Then this is our admin access for web monitoring. We now give it a range of details that we want it to do. So it now started generating. So what it now did was to first create a database called access tracking. It created two tables called users and tracking details. So I'm going to tell you how to run this on your XAMPP or your cPanel account. It now created a page that is going to like import the approved users. So like I said, we just have only 3 approved users. That are the people that should log on to that application, right? Then login page with monitoring. I think we don't need to even create extra page because the page is not intended for anybody. The page is just to like, maybe it's like a honeypot just to see what people are trying out, right? So login page with monitoring. So this is the login page with monitoring. So what it's doing here is going to include a database connection script. Okay, let me see whether it's created it. Okay, let me just write the database connection script. It's going to grab the person's browser details. It will grab the person's operating system, grab its IP address, its geolocation. But it's saying get location using location API. So that is that stuff I talked about. If you want to grab somebody's location, you need to use the location API, something like location API. You need to use the location API. If you use the location API, you could use Google, you could use normal HTML geolocation API. You could use, there are several of them. With the location API, you can be able to tell with the IP address where somebody is coming from. So you can map an IP address to location. So this is what it looks like. This is my IP address. I'm in Lagos, Nigeria. So just by the IP address, you can tell that this is my IP address. So I'm in Africa, I'm in Nigeria, I'm in Lagos, and truly I'm in Lagos. This is my latitude, this is my longitude, this is my time zone, right? And this is my ISP, and this is very, very correct. Right? Then this is the DNS my ISP is using. So what can happen is that you can create your application to use this. Oh, Awesome. So this is even a free API documentation. So this is beyond the scope of what I want to do. If you register on this website, you will be able to, oh, it even have pricing somehow. It has pricing. Unlimited request. It has Pro with 13 euros. You could integrate this into your application. I think I will create this maybe sometime next week or next week. I will improve this application to incorporate an API so that we can actually tell particularly where somebody is connecting from or where the person is located. Aside that, without an external third-party API, you might not be able to grab that kind of intelligence. Someone says, can two or more users log in with the login details at the same time from different devices, or just restrict just one user per login at a time? Okay, these are the things we can consider, but we want to keep this very simple. Our goal is just to do monitoring for now. You could extend this application to do anything. That's why it's called dynamic web application. Okay, let's keep investigating. So if it doesn't know it, it's just an unknown location. So what it's going to do is going to post the email and password, and it's going to check if the username and password is in the database. If it's successful, good. It will start counting it as one. Remember we said that we wanted to count how many times. Then once it grabs all the details, it's going to now insert it into the tracking table, right? So the tracking table is going to have IP address, the person's username, password. It's going to grab all of those things, and if it's successful, it's going to send the person to the admin access, right? If it's not successful also, it's going to still log it. Okay, so this is the login page for users. So it has all of the details and the rest. Then this is my access page. So it has modified that access page I have, and that's saying, okay, for you to access it henceforth, the password is going to be what? 9 into 9 places. If you don't give all that detail, sorry, you're not going to have that. So if what you put in is same thing as what it is, true, it will allow you to enter, then it will now load and load the details. It now says, okay, I should include the scripts as this. What I found out was that the admin access.php page does not have the details in a table format for all the items or all the successful login attempts, right? And it seems we also don't have a registered table. Let me see. This is approved users. Okay. So here, this is where we can include some approved users to our table. Okay, let me see what this is saying. Insert users. Okay, this is a page where we can do the insertion. So I will just copy everything and go drop. Okay, the admin access page does not have all the details in table format for all the items or all the successful login attempts. Can we have that included? So we want to make sure that that access page can have a table containing all the successful logins, right? It has all the successful logins. So what is going to happen is that it's going to say, for you to see that page, you must enter this password. If it's not wrong, it will tell you incorrect password. Then good, it's not going to have a table. The table is not going to have all the details from the tracking details. It's not going to have, it's still loading. Good. It's not going to have the ID, the IP, the username. It's going to have everything that it has grabbed. It's going to have it on that page. I think we are good to go. We can copy paste and we can start attempting. Okay. So the first thing we are going to do now So we have, okay, good. So the first thing we're going to do now is to go and create a database, right? We need to create a database. We need to create a username and password. So I will go to my cPanel. So this is my cPanel. Everybody make sure you're a cPanel. You go to database, MySQL database. What's the name of the database again? Database is access tracking. Right? So access tracking, right? So, but you see that I cannot just have access tracking because there's a like a lead database that is tied to the hosting account. So I will make the modifications later on. So the name of the database is going to be everything, all of this, right? Take note. So I will go back. So for every database, you must create a user and grant that user access to the database. If not, your application is not going to work. So we're going to go ahead and add a user, and we're going to call this user access tracking user, right? We're going to generate a password, right? This password, use, right? So this is the password. We've generated it. We're going to create the user, right? So you have a database, we have a user, and we have a password. So let me write it out somewhere. So this is going to be my password, and this is going to be my user, and this is going to be my database, right? So this is my password, user, my database. Okay, so I've done that. So I will go back. Next thing I'm going to do is to now give my user permission to use the database. So I'll go down. Same place where you have my SQL database, you just need to go down. You know, you create your database here. You create your user here. You add your user to the database just below it. So I say, okay, this user, please give it permission to this database. You add it. Once you add it, next thing you're going to do is you say, okay, please, oh, I want this user to be able to alter, create table, delete table, perform all of the CRUD operations on the database. I say, okay, please, you're able to do everything. I want to make changes. Awesome. So it has done all of that. So the next thing I need to do now is to go to my cPanel and go to MySQL to now start creating those tables. So I'll go to phpMyAdmin. So if I go to phpMyAdmin, I will go to the database, look at it here, access tracking. So this is where I can have the tables. Let me show you what a table looks like. This is what a table looks like. See a table, a database. A database have a table. This is what a table looks like. You see a table is going to have maybe a username. You see the password is encrypted. So even if somebody have access to this database, this password is encrypted. So is a very important access control technique to make sure that you don't store password in plain text. So when they tell you hashing, don't store your password in plain text. This is what they mean. Are we together? So the next thing we're going to do, we'll go to that access stuff and we go to SQL. We now want to programmatically create those tables, right? So I will go to ChatGPT and I'll say, okay, you see, it has already created, I've already created a database. I want to now create a user table. So I'll just copy from here up to this point. So what am I trying to tell you to do? So in you learning SQL, SQL will teach you how to create tables. So if I want to use W3 School, I'll go to W3 School and go to SQL, right? When I go to SQL, I want to do something like, somebody's asking a question. The encrypted password, can it still be cracked? Yes, there's nothing that is not possible. So don't ask me whether something is possible or not possible. So that question is out of the game. So So for SQL, like I said, can be used to insert items in a table, read data from a table. Maybe in another class later on, when we start doing some pen testing tasks and the rest, we can do a small crash course on SQL, or you can look it up, or we can do a small crash course on PHP, or we could do a small crash course on JavaScript. Yeah, so but better you make sure that it's encrypted. So you could look up this tutorial and you could follow to like do some SQL. Like you can select something from a table, you can insert something in a table, you can select some particular items from a particular field if they meet a column, if they meet some certain conditions and all of that. Okay, so I will just come here. I will not drop this. Sorry, I will not drop this. So what I'm trying to say is that I'm trying to say, please, create a table. It's going to have an ID. It's going to have an email. It's going to have a username. It's going to have a password. I will close my my query. I will now also say, please, create another table. Let the name be what? Tracking details. Let it have an ID auto incremental so that after one, the next one will be two, the next one will be three, the next one will be four. IP address, let it be variable character, username, password, and the rest. I will just hit on go. So let's watch this table. You see that it has automatically created tracking details and users for us. If I click on tracking details, you're going to see that it's empty. So it's until when users start entering data that is now going to be logging in. Now, this is going to be my approved users. So it's the approved users that I enter that are going to be stored there. So anybody that is not in that approved user, the person will not be able to get to that admin page where I'm going to see all of those details. So any other person that attempts is just going to be logging their information, right? Okay, good. So we've created a database, we've created the two tables. Next thing we want to do, we want to go to the next guy. Now, so there's a page called approve page, right? So what we cannot do is to create this page, insert three approved page into with users into a hashed password. So I'll just copy this and come here and say, okay, so this is going to be my approved users, right? Approved.php. So approved. So this is just going to be it. Then username, what's our username? This guy. You see, when they tell you to pay a developer 900K per month, are you seeing why? Password. Database name. Everything with this. So we'll leave localhost server name as default. So what it's going to do is that it's going to create the connection. It's going to check, is the server name, username, password, database name correct? If it's correct, what is it going to do? Is that going to go and make sure the password is hashed? It's not going to enter username, what's it called? It's going to enter email, username, password, right, as values into that table with what? This, right? If that's successful, it's just going to say, okay. But there's a way this guy is trying to write this stuff. It's not giving me opportunity to enter the password myself. Let me see. This is email. This is username. And this is the password.
Password here.
Where is it?
No, go down. No.
Okay, good, awesome. So hash password. So it's telling me that, okay, please put your password here. So this is going to be password default. Just a moment. So I need to understand what the guy is trying to do. Hashed password, password hash. Enter your password here. Okay, let me just try that. Let me still use let me use 0 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so let me save this. Okay, the name of this page is approved, right? So sortedventures.com approved.php. Let's see what this page looks like. Okay, so access denied for user this using password. Okay, connection failed. So let's see. Localhost username. So this is correct. Password. This is correct. So where did we get wrong? So see, we have a connection issue.
You should type, you put your password.
Which password?
This password. This password. You should put it here. With the string.
No. So let me see.
Check connection.
Yeah, so someone is asking, please, do we need to specify the kind? Yes, you could specify whether you want to do shardis or you want to use, hash from a series of let's say 1, 2, 5, A, B, C, D. You could do all of those kind of specification, right? So but just allowing to just hash the password for us. So connection failed. Let me see, I'm coming. So access to user this. Let me go back to my database. Let me go back to my database and users and see. So this is my database and this is the user. So hope this is correct. This is my database. And to make sure this is correct, database. And this is the password. And this is the user. This is the user. And take up this comment so I can see clearly what's happening. Okay, seeing some space here. Okay, cleaned up. Let me access the page again. Connection still failed. Approved.php. Access denied.
Every password, put the original password.
No. Hash password.
Yeah.
Let me see, just a moment. I think the problem was the password, the way we copied the password and fixed on our browser. Maybe there was a space or there was something, so it was not correct. Okay, so I think in our application, where are we now? So we've created that. We created the. So this is our approved users. Good. So next thing is login page with monitoring. So this is our new login page. This is our connection script. We just copy this and somebody's asking a question. Please, do we need to specify which? Okay, good. So this is our login page with monitoring. So we go back to this login page, edit. Right? Let me be sure. So this does not have header and foot. Does it have? Okay, it has, right? It has. So we just copy everything here. Login page, we just replace, right? We replace. But look at this database connection. It's just that connection script that we have. I think where's our password? I didn't copy out. Okay, we pasted this somewhere, right?
No.
Okay, this is it. So let me tell this guy, please, can you create a database, a db.php file with this, right? So this is just going to be the db file because you want to make sure that all the pages have this, right? To check connection, right? So you always include it because if you check very well, you see that this our login page included a file, but it didn't create a file for us. So we make sure that it's okay now, ChatGPT. So we will make sure that we copy this and go create a DB file. Right, that's all. Okay, so we're done with that. So next thing is, where did we stop? We created a login page with monitoring. The next thing is the what? Access.php. So we just copy this. We go to, where's the access? Admin access.php. Edit. So we replace this with this.
Last one, yeah, is like.
Yes, so we replace this with this. I think we're done. So include the script db header footer admin header or database. Okay, I think that's all. Okay, yeah, sorry, is this one? This is the corrected version, right? Because this one includes the tracking details. It includes the tracking details of everybody, right? So this is the modified one we did. So we copy this and say, so that I don't make mistake. Admin access. So please, admin access.php. So admin access.php. So this is the page. Is asking for a password. What's the password? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good. So everybody attempt to log into this application, right? Attempt to log in. So everybody can attempt to log in. Attempt to log in. Then I will be here just refreshing. I will give you all the scripts I used. So once you log in, I will refresh and see if it's going to grab the detail, grab the information. So the login is this login.php, right? So if I say this, or if I say vgroup@gmail, and I say my password is this, if I try to sign in, it's not going through. So, but let me see if it's going to log it. Okay, not yet. So I think we might just do 1 or 2 fine tuning and we should be, okay, this is successful login attempt. We didn't capture unsuccessful login attempt. I think we might need to modify it slightly. So if you have questions, please just drop on the WhatsApp chat.